Hello, everyone. I want to give you a quick rundown on our tax prep process here from start to finish. I know we've talked about this before, but I know people also have asked some questions on it. So I want to give this kind of quick rundown just to make sure everyone's on the same page and know what we're doing on our end to ensure that your tax return gets done on a timely manner. So our tax preparation process from start to finish is really first having you sign the engagement letter, which hopefully you all have done so far. Once you've signed that engagement letter, we will go ahead and upload or send you a document request invite. So if this is a business return, it's going to come from a software called ShareFile. If it's an individual return, it's going to come from a software called Link. You'll get that invite to that. You'll upload the documents there. Once you're done uploading those documents, please let us know that you've done that. It's a way for us to make sure that we are notified that everything's in there. Particularly with Link, if you don't answer all the questions because they're not applicable, we don't know that it's in a completed format. So just shoot us an email, either myself or Sima at our firm, and that'll just let us know we can start the return process. When we start the return process, we're going to review everything that you sent us, make sure we got a lay of the land of what's going on. And we're going to start the return. Also, alongside this, we're going to start asking some questions. If we see things that maybe we're missing, or as we go through your documents and see, hey, maybe you'd qualify for this or qualify for that, we'd bring those up to you as well, so we can make sure that we're getting everything in there and we're getting the tax returns done right. We'll also, if there's any questions that we have about your documents, we'll ask you about that at this time. So sometimes maybe something you got was incomplete or it relates to something else. And so we want to make sure that we have everything so we have a complete set of documents to work off of. Once we have the return in a good spot, it will go through a two-level review process, both from our accounting manager, Chris, and myself. We'll review it. We'll make sure everything is right. We may even ask more questions at that time as well. If there are things we see, particularly from like a tax advisory perspective. Both Chris and I are kind of looking at it from that lens as well. And so if we see things in there that either may be helpful for 2017 or even 2018, we will go through that process there. Once we got to that two-level review, we'll share that draft of the tax return with you. And alongside that draft of the tax return that we're going to share with you, we're going to give a video overview, kind of similar to this, where we go through the tax return document, talk through the process itself, and make sure that you don't have any questions on it. Usually when we do that review process over video, it's pretty straightforward from there. But if you have any questions after you review that video, please let us know, and we'd be happy to answer those questions for you. Once you're good with return, you are good and satisfied with everything in there, we will send over an e-file authorization form for you to sign. That e-file authorization form will either need to be signed by the primary business owner or someone who can sign for the business. And for the individual, it's going to be signed by both people. If it's a married filed joint return, or if it's a single or head of household return, it'll be filed signed just by one person. Once we get that back from you, that allows us to now file that return on your behalf. So if you have questions as you do the e-file thing, let us know. But once basically we get the notification that you've signed it, then we'll go ahead and file that return and go from there. So that's our tax return process in a nutshell. I know we've probably reiterated this like 6 or 7 times by now, but it's, as you go through this and you start actually pulling documents together and things like that, there's always those questions. So hopefully this will be helpful for you in that matter. I also want to show a little demo of Link. So Link changed this year. And that's, we know we had some issues with the Link software early on in tax season, probably because they changed it and the software wasn't ready on their end for these changes. So now it's in good shape here. So I want to show what that looks like. So if you look here, this is when you get that invite to Link and you sign in. This is where it takes you to. There'll be 2 sections here. One, a questionnaire. And so this is asking some questions, did things change? Are you at the same, address, that sort of thing, right? So if I go in here, I can answer current address. If it's the same address, just put the same address as last year. If there's any changes here, you're going to answer these. A lot of these are just yes, no questions. So feel free to answer this here. It's kind of hard to see here. Let's do this. How about that? again, it's just yes, no questions. Say, yep, I got that. Great. Sure, we have that, right? So this lets us know and asks us these kind of questions here. And the reason why we ask these questions, even this is not just the first time we've done this return, we've done your return in prior years, is we want to make sure that, we understand what's going on. If things have changed, we want to be aware of those changes there. So go ahead and fill out the questionnaire. Once you fill out the questionnaire items, you can come back here and start uploading documents. If we did your tax return in the prior year, you'll get information that's specific to return. So like last year, we gave money to WBEZ. So we're going to ask that question again of you this year. Now, if we ask these questions from you here, it does not mean that you have to have it again for this year. Things may have changed. But we want to ask, questions based on what we know. If this is our first year preparing return with you, the questions are going to be a little bit more generic and a little bit more broad. So you may get a bunch of those document checklists and ask for things and not understand quite what's going on, or I don't even understand what that form is. Don't worry about it. Just leave it alone. If you don't have it, don't upload it. Upload what you have. And if there are things in there that we see, from what you answered in the questionnaire that we expect a document and document checklist, we didn't see that there, we'll ask for those things. So don't worry about that. We'll make sure that you're covered. So that is a quick rundown on Link. Let's get back here to the preparation presentation here. The next piece is TrackStar. So TrackStar is a proprietary system that we developed that kind of lets you know the process of your return throughout the whole process. So as the return goes through our steps in our process, you're going to get notifications as it goes through there. And the reason why we want to build this and have this for you is so that you're aware of where the tax return is at any step in the time, and that there isn't this question, okay, where is it at? Where's the process? When's it going to be done? Because with the software in place, it'll allow you to see that. So as we go through the process, you'll get an email notification like the one we have here. And I'll blow this up here so you can see it. So there's kind of 11 steps that we've kind of broken down the process from sending the engagement letter all the way through filing. And so throughout that process there, we will send you an email as it moves in each one of these kind of major steps. And what's even nice beyond that too is this track status button here. If you click on that, this takes you to a link of what your process is in that status. So it'll tell you, all right, you're on step 10. It'll show the steps that have been completed and also show dates here. This one was just a sample here. So it's not going to have all the dates here, but it kind of shows you all the way through the steps of the process of where we're at and what each step is. You can save this link that is here. You can save, bookmark it, and come to it at any time. It'll tell you exactly where you're at and what was the last step that was completed and what date that was. So you're kind of aware throughout the process. Also, if there are things that were missing of yours or we have comments or anything, there'll also be a comment box up here that will have those items. So maybe if we're still in the wait-in response from you phase, we may have a note up here saying exactly what we're waiting for. So if you look in there and say, oh, they're waiting stuff for me, you'll see kind of what that is. So we're really excited about this. Hopefully this can give you a little bit more insight of what is going on with your returns. But hopefully this was a good kind of helpful overview of our process and everything that goes along with it. If you have any questions on the process, please let us know. You can certainly shoot me an email, josh@landcpa.com, or you can shoot anyone on our team as well an email, and we'll be happy to answer those as well. And again, any